Greetings yet once again, my fellow Star Trek fans. I hope you're having a great day, and this video is going to be amazing. I've been waiting a while for this, as a lot of people have. This is going to be the new 1/350 scale model of the U.S.S. Enterprise from Polar Lights. What makes this one special is this is the one that's going to have the pilot parts, just like the Premier Edition, the NCC-1701. Now, I've shown you guys that one, and it's collectible. I do not want to rip it open, so that's why I never made it. Over the years, they have sold separate parts packs that you can do to make the pilot's version of the Starship, the first two pilots. But without further ado, my friends, I am so excited. Check it out. It came in from Auto World. We've got the U.S.S. Enterprise, and this one you can either make as Captain Kirk's ship in the Menagerie, or you can make Captain Pike's ship in the Cage. Now, I think I made up my mind with what I want to do with this. I think I want to do it just, you guys, I don't know if you are familiar with that iconic shot of the model of the U.S.S. Enterprise on the street in California. That version of the ship, the original Cage, the higher bridge, the larger deflector dish, the Bassard collectors had antennas instead of the lights. I think I want to do that one. I think I made up my mind, and that's the one that I want to do. And I actually want to recreate that photo. I think that will be really fun. So my friends, I'm giddy like I can't remember the last time I was this giddy. Probably when I got the Titanic Trumpeter 1/200 scale in. But I'll tell you guys what, grab a cup of coffee and prepare to enjoy a wonderful video. I'm going to show you everything that comes in this kit, the instructions, the decals, and everything. So let's take it over to the modeling desk, and I'll show you what's inside. Okay, first thing we'll do is get this big, beautiful box open. Love it. Okay, so we do have some Auto World memorabilia. Make sure you guys can see absolutely everything. All right, first thing, we got the stickers. Kind of like we did with the lighting kit that I recently showed you guys. Incidentally, I got that lighting kit for this model. And we've got the invoice. You can see pre-order, Polar Lights, number of items ordered, 1. If I could, I would have bought 20 of them. You know, it's already sold out because I went back to the website and they're already gone. So that's the invoice. We've got the cool stickers. And you got the models on the back. And we've actually got a catalog. This is the first time I got a catalog. A lot of cars, a lot of cool stuff. Some trucks, a lot of car models. One thing I love about AMT is I love the tractor trailer model kits. I did show you the dump truck. I'll be doing that. at some point. And you see the science fiction, the Star Trek stuff. Space 1999. I'll be doing a video of this pretty soon. We have the model kits of the Comlock and the stun gun. And the Eagle, I've got the limited edition. That's an upcoming video. And just a lot of fun stuff. I love the Jolly Roger. I love the pirate ship. I've done videos on those ships. And it's just a fun thing to go through, whether it's bathroom reading material or future projects. So we got the catalog from 2022, so we'll put that aside. And let's take off the bubble wrap. Oh yeah. Oh, she's beautiful. Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's get you guys to see that gorgeous box. So let's set the camera up. All right. Build one of 3 versions. First pilot, the second pilot, or the production version. And I'm loving it. This one looks like the one that was in Mirror Mirror as well. I'll put up plenty of pictures. Like I said, guys, this is going to be a long video because we're going to look at everything in this amazing kit. Looking at the box, the front. On the side, we've got Captain Kirk with his U.S.S. Enterprise, and that looks like the pilot version. You can tell because the front of the bridge dome, B deck, is lit, and it's higher. It's got a larger deflector dish, and the Bessard collectors have the antennas on them, and they're not lit. Switching it over to the other side of the box, we have Captain Christopher Pike. And this is from the cage and the menagerie. And you can see his U.S.S. Enterprise. And that one, again, has the higher bridge dome with the different markings on the front. It's not lit, but the Bessard collectors are still not lit, and they have the antennas coming out. Looking at the back of this wonderful kit, we've got build one of 3 versions. The production version. Actually, let me take you off. It might be a little bit easier to show you guys the back of the box. You got build one of 3 versions. The production version. Clear parts, perfect for lighting. Lighting kit is sold separately. I have an idea with the lighting kit, but we'll get into that when we do the build. We have the shuttlecraft, registry markings included. Accurate interior, the hangar deck, and you can see the bridge, and you can see the back of the nacelles, where instead of that ball, it's got the little circles, and there's another one where it just has like a rectangle. And you can see the bridge dome, B and C decks. Absolutely gorgeous. The second pilot version, you can see right there. I love those black stripes where the beacons are on either side at the ends. You got those beautiful antennas coming out of the Bessard collectors. The nacelle front caps in spindles. And the nacelle rear caps, that's the what I was telling you about, the rectangle. NCC-1701 Pilot Edition. So this is the first pilot, and this is the one that I'm thinking that I want to do. She's absolutely spectacular. From the cage and the menagerie parts 1 and 2. And where no man has gone before, that would be her, as well as Mirror Mirror had that version of the Starship. But the first pilot, bridge dome, B and C decks, you can see they've got that kind of the different markings that are on B and C decks. Of course, those decks are higher, and the pitch where the bridge is. You've got the stripes on the sides of the saucer section, but they're not black, they're clear. You can see the markings in the front. Larger deflector dish. Sturdy display stand with base and metal support rod. Those of you that know polar lights, we know that base. The choking hazard information. And more information, round 2, StarTrek.com. Now, I ended up going to round 2 to see if I could download the instructions. They're not up yet, but I did email them. They were really great because they sent me the instructions as soon as I asked for the new lighting kit. So as soon as they send me those instructions, that'd be nice. I'm going to put them up regardless. I'm going to go through them with you, actually. And when I get the digital copy, I'll probably make a video just focusing on the instructions in case people have it that don't have them. Or you may be contemplating getting the model and you want to know what's different about it. The instructions will certainly tell you that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to put you back onto the tripod and we're going to take off the plastic wrap and we're going to open this beautiful box. All right, let's see if I can do this where I can keep the plastic. On the box. Okay, let me get it situated because I want to be able for you guys to have a really nice shot. Let's see if we can draw it back a little bit, just a bit. Okay, so let's do it. First thing, it looks like we have the decals. So let's go ahead and we're going to open this up. And of course, yes, I will put pictures of everything up because that's what I usually do. You guys that watch my videos, you know that I like to put all the details up so you guys know what you're getting. Because that's what I would want. When I'm watching videos, I like to see all the information possible on what's going on, what it entails. All right, let's make sure we can get that without damaging the decals. All right. Okay, first, what's this? We have decals. And of course, this could be for different versions, or alternate versions of the pilot. You can see these are going to go underneath the Bussard collectors on the bottom of the nacelles. This goes on the bottom of the ship. Look how big they are. It shows you the size scale of the 1/350. These go on the back of the saucer section. You can see the gorgeous markings that go on the sides of the secondary hull. And you can see these are for the nacelles. And by the way, this is kit POL 993M04. So that's gorgeous. So that's the first thing. It looks like we have, okay, this is protecting the decal sheet. So again, we got the protective wax paper, and look at that, guys. Gorgeous. You can see NCC-1701. We've got the bridge decals. And you know, guys, as much as I love the bridge, every time I've done a couple of these 1350 models now, and I just screw up the bridge. I suck at the bridge. I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that my bridge on this one comes out perfect. You can see the stripes that go on the side for the second pilot and for the first pilot. They're clear. You can see the shuttle bay doors, beautiful. And of course the markings that go along the ship. Love it. 1701. Now this is strictly for the Enterprise. There's no alternate decals to make other ships. This is only for the NCC-1701. You can see the impulse engines. And this is for the bridge dome, the higher bridge dome from the first pilot. And underneath the Bussard collectors on the nacelles. And they don't have decals that go up along the nacelle pylons. So those would be painted. So far I don't see anything. It could be plastic, but we'll see. But that's the decal sheet. Gorgeous. So we'll put this aside for now, and it looks like up next is the instructions sheet. Oh, and look, on the back, right off the bat, you can see the rust ring. So if you're going to do the painting, of course you have to do the rust ring. If you're going to go through all that trouble and do the weathering, beautiful. Okay, let's take a look at the instructions. You've got the first pilot, the second pilot, and the production version. So let's take a look at the first pilot. General assembly. This highly detailed kit features precision tooled parts for easy assembly. But the builder should examine the instructions carefully and do a dry test fit of parts before applying cement. This will provide a clear understanding of how the parts fit together to assist painting and final assembly. Sub-assemblies. Note that this kit is intended to be built in sub-assemblies. This makes building the kit more manageable. It is very important to note that the details to sub-assemblies before completing, the decals. Apply paint and decals to the sub-assemblies before completing the final assembly, and that's what I do. This is particularly true to the case of the interior assemblies, which may require extensive paint work depending on the level of detail the modeler wishes to achieve. That is true to play with the shuttle bay and the bridge. I had told you guys, the bridge is a lot of detailing. Paint and decals. The plastic color of the parts provide the best reference to the accurate color of the filming model as it appeared in the pilot episodes. Color swatches are shown as a close representation of the paint colors. Some colors may need to be custom mixed to match accurately. Now this is again what I wanted to do. I saw some videos on mixing gray with blue to get that absolute perfect color that they had on the filming model. So I'm going to do some experimenting on that so we can actually mix the paint. Because you know, the Enterprise, it's gray. It showed up on screen as white because of all the lights, but in actuality, the model is gray. And it's got a bluish hue to it. So we got to figure out how to get that same exact color, because as far as I know, there is no paint to get. That's perfect. and the rest it's in different languages on the bottom. So you can see, all right, let's take a look at the pilot version, the first pilot, and I'm thinking that that's what we're going to do with this one. And you've got the second pilot version, and of course that's Where No Man Has Gone Before with Gary Mitchell. And also that was in the episode Mirror Mirror. And the production version, which went on to be the beautiful enterprise we've all come to know. I've done, over the course of my life, I've done several of these, and I really want to do the first pilot. I do plan to get it at some point in time. I want to get another one of these models, and I want to do the Mirror Mirror version, because she's really gorgeous, the ISS Enterprise. But, okay, for now, this is Polar Lights Kit POL 993M/04. And it shows you some of the tools that you're going to need. Use frame identifiers to locate the sprue if needed. Okay, so looking on the inside, so the way they have the instructions laid out is you've got the first pilot version. So that would be blue. So now every page that you go to, the blue section will be for the first pilot version. Just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of 3 at once. So I showed you guys the front, and we're going to take a look at this page now. The second page in, you can see this is where you assemble B and C decks. You put the bridge dome in, and at this time you'll be detailing the bridge if you want to. Of course, it's got the stickers where you can do the panels that are on the wall, and the I don't remember, did it have the instrument panels? Could have the instrument panels, or there's certainly aftermarket stickers and decals that'll give you that. The one that I had done, I had the special deluxe lighting kit, and it actually had the photo etch pieces that went on the panels of the bridge. You can see, working on the saucer section of all 3 versions, and they're all different. That's what makes it great. In a perfect world, I would get all 3 and just have all 3. But I don't have enough room in the house for all of these models, unfortunately. And you can see putting in the lights, BC decks, and the bridge. So that's the first part of the model build. Moving on, we go to the inside of the bottom. Now this is where it's important if you're going to want to light the kit. You can see we put in the windows, the lower saucer, and they're very similar. But like I said, there are differences. So if don't get confused and start doing different, if you go through the instructions and you just randomly follow any of the colors, it will be incorrect. If you start off at the blue, you got to follow the blue through the end of the instructions. Same thing with the orange and the gold. You can see the bottom. You're putting the bridge or the island that's on top of the saucer section of B and C decks. That's going in. And again, you're not going to do this until you get all the lights in. Now the instructions for the lighting kit are very clear, and you can coincide and do those alongside of this, and you can make sure you get them all in, because there are a lot of strips that go in along for the windows. Of course, lighting the bridge. I think there were 3 lights that went around the bridge, and you've got the blinking beacon lights for port and starboard, the red and green. And you got them on the bottom. Now, one of the modifications I want to make to this model to make it more screen accurate is, you guys know the lights underneath. I don't have a picture of it right now, but the 2 beacons are in the center, and the lights underneath, the white lights, are in the center. Well, if you guys notice in the pilot, these beacons are pushed back. So these lights are not in the center, they're actually in the rear 1/3 part of the ship, or the saucer section. So what I want to do is I want to fill in these gaps, and I want to move them back to where they are to make it more accurate. And you can see it the best when she's going by in the pilot or the early versions, and you can see that the beacon light is in the back. When she's going by the planet, it's really noticeable. Okay, moving on. We've got the saucer. The reflector dish. And of course, the production version one is a lot smaller. What do you guys think? Do you like the larger one or the smaller one? I think the larger one is better. I like the bigger one better. And you can see there are two different parts. It looks like the same parts for the first two pilots and different parts for the production version. And then, of course, we go in to the nacelle pylons. And this is what I was telling you. Yeah, there were no decals, so this is better. We'll use parts themselves to go in for the nacelle pylons. And when I finished Joe's 1350 Enterprise, I had done originally what I had wanted to do. I lit the nacelle pylons, and I think that's great. And now I can never make it the same way. I got to keep lighting it. And it's so easy to light, guys. You just run the wires in the top, and you put in a strip, LED strip, and run them through the bottom and connect the wires. It's the easiest thing to do, and the effect is amazing. It looks like it does on screen. Then we move on to the saucer pylon. You can see the pilot version, and it looks like they're all the same for the first two versions, and then you've got a different version for the production version. The windows are different. And it's actually, let's see, the first two are part 88, 8B and 9B. And then we have part 8 and 9 for the production version. So they are different. And they ended up tweaking it for the series and ended up with a beautiful Enterprise that we've come to know and love. So now we've got to move on to the Bussard collectors. Now, I love the Bussard collectors with the antennas. I wish they lit up, because they still could have lit up, even with the antennas coming out. That would have been really, really fascinating. But they don't. And you can see modified part number 17 is shown. You can see the antennas. They've got the, almost looks like a bolt that's on. So for the first, again, you're going to modify the part 17 as shown. And that fits in. Of course, if I'm going to be doing this, you won't be using the motors in the light kit or any of the Bussard collector parts. It goes in. I wish there was a way that I could get these to glow. They don't do it on screen, but I don't know. They would look... What do you guys think? If I use the clear part, and I put the antennas onto the clear, and I make it subtle, not bright, put a darker red paint on, and just have it kind of glow, what do you guys think? Or should I stick to the original? And now we move on to the nacelles. Again, these are different parts. The nacelles are different. So you got 35, what was that, 34 and 35 for the first two pilots, and then you switch over to, oh, it is 34 and 35. So the barrels of the nacelles are the same in all three versions, but they obviously do have different markings. The radiator, the coolants, the cooling bars on both sides. And again, I like the option to light the nacelles. They actually wanted to light them in the series, but they didn't have it wasn't in the budget. You can see the nacelles. And then the backs. This is where they really stick out. The backs, the fronts and the backs. The front Bussard collectors are totally different. And of course the backs, where the grills are. The first production had the like a rectangle on the back, and you can actually see that in Where No Man Has Gone Before too, I think. or it might be the ones with the holes. But this is part 50C. You got 50C, but it's different. Choose differently. Make sure you put both of the same on the model. And of course, you got part 50 for the production version because you've got that ball. I wonder if they, in the series, I wonder if they wanted to light those, but they just didn't have the money to do it, like the sides of the nacelles. You can see the grills, part 48. So the grills go on the same, but the radiator coolers, the coolant devices are different. And of course, the Bassard collectors. Okay, now we get on to the secondary hull. This is pretty nice. Are all of them the same? Parts 11. Yep. 10 and 11. The halves of the secondary hull are the same for all versions. So the lights are probably the same as well. Yep. All the windows are the same. So that's probably the easiest part of the ship to build. And again, you've got the little, they're kind of like braces where they enforce the nacelle going in. It makes it a little more durable. And that's the same for all three versions. So this is probably the only page in the instructions where everything would be with the same parts for all three versions. So now we start to bring the secondary hull together, and you can see the formation of the shuttlecraft. Now, we didn't see a shuttlecraft in the pilot in the cage. We did see a shuttlecraft in the menagerie. You remember Captain Kirk was trying to hunt down the Enterprise. So you can see, again, the secondary hull, I think these are all the same pieces. 13, yep, part 12. So these look like they're all the same. But we got the formation of the shuttle bay. You can actually do it with the doors open, or it gives you the option of having the doors closed, which is part 26A. And again, that's fun to detail. In the lighting kit that I had used, this was clear. But in the kit, the regular kit, this is not clear. So you'd have to drill out all the windows if you want to light the kit, which obviously we'll be doing. You can see the different colors. I love that they put the colors in for the observation deck. The little dome in the back of the ship. And let's see, are these the same? The first two production versions have the same parts. You got part 135. However, in the second pilot, you've got 134B that goes in, and that's the little circle, or the little different colors that's in there. In the first one, there's none. I think it's just green. What does it say? Fill engraved lines on part number 26A. So there was no, on the shuttle bay doors, it was smooth. So you have to fill it in and then paint it that way. That's no big deal. That'll be easy with some plastic putty. And you got to do the same thing on the second pilot. Instead of doing that, I wonder why they just didn't put in clear parts or smooth parts to use as the option, but you got to fill them in. So that's looking at the back of the ship where the shuttle bay is. And it looks like we go into the final assembly. And of course, the final assembly is the same for all three versions. And this is where it really gets fun, because I love doing this model, and I've done it before. I've done two of them. The first one that I did, I painted the Battleship Gray because I really liked the color of Battleship Gray. The second one that I had done, Joe had started, what he did is he painted it. So I left it the way it was, and that's the one that I show in the introduction of all my videos where I talk about what's coming up. So Joe started that, but the lighting kit was totally destroyed. He got screwed on that. He bought it, it was used, and the Bassard motors didn't work, so I had to I basically replaced 60% of that kit, the lighting kit. I had to redo it myself. That's why I was thinking about showing you guys a model, like I'll do a 1350 Enterprise and I'll actually build a lighting kit myself, and I'll show you guys how to do it, just in case you don't have the money for the one Polar Lights offers, because, you know, they are expensive. I like the fact that they show you how to precisely get it to rest for the glue to dry. When completing the model, build the ship upside down using books to level the saucer and support the secondary hull. Make sure all cement is completely dry before placing the ship on a stand, because this model is very, very well made and very thick, but it also is very heavy, and the nacelles take a lot of weight. And the design of the Enterprise, you can see where the nacelles would actually over time start to sag, and they actually did that at the one at the Smithsonian, so they put in support rods to keep that from happening again. Allow all sub-assemblies to dry completely before the final assembly. And at this point, you'll have everything painted and you'll have the decals on. And usually what I do at this point, after it's together, that's when I give it kind of like a clear coat. So moving on, you can see the decal placement. So you can see the shuttle bay. You've got the lights. Now the lighting kit has this as clear, and you've got a photo etch piece that goes in there for the grid lines. You can see the doors and the decals that go on. Again, with the kit, we're going to have to drill out the windows because they're solid and they're dark. It's not in clear plastic. And the landing circle where the shuttle bay will spin in order to take off. And the observation window and the doors. So that's pretty cool. All right, looking at the shuttlecraft now. You can see it's basically straightforward, but it's very tiny. And it's the Galileo we're going to be making. You can see the sides of the nacelles. And that wonderful, the back that lights up. And the bridge placement decals, you can see. You've got the main viewing screen. You've got the door, the turbo lift door. And you can see the little handrail. It's going to be red on top. And again, I'm going to try to make this one the best that I've done so far. And there's templates for the grid. Now, it's funny because over the years, they've had raised lines on just about all the models, going back to the AMT Enterprise. But those actually were not raised. They were done with using a pencil. So if you want to do that, it shows you the template for the saucer. The production version had a finely drawn grid pattern on its saucer. These templates can be used to assist in recreating that pattern. The blue grid represents the pattern on top of the saucer, and the red grid represents the pattern on the bottom. Now, you know, it's pretty interesting. I've actually seen some modelers where they actually did Aztecing on the original Enterprise, which is fascinating if it goes back to the Aztecing. Now, they didn't have Aztecing on the filming model, but it does look interesting with the Aztecing. So that's for the decal placement in the shuttle bay, the bridge, the grid lines, and the shuttlecraft. So let's look at the first pilot version now, where you're going to see where the stickers go. Excuse me, the decals. Cut decals where indicated and apply to model. then but additional decals as shown. You can see that iconic NCC-1701, and this is the same for all versions. U.S.S. Enterprise. You can see behind the bridge, behind the turbo lift doors, and you got the line that goes back towards the impulse engines. And of course, we got the lines down her spine, and that beautiful stick decals that go on the side of the nacelles, and the one that goes in the front of the B deck, C deck. And you've got the placement of the smaller ones with the numbers. You've got the beautiful secondary hull. And that was the starboard side. Here's a look at the port side. For the registration numbers, there's not really a lot of difference between the three versions. Again, you can see, and on the first one that I had done, the sticker was complete. Excuse me, the decal. The NCC-1701 was included with all the lines. With this one, it's different. It's in 3 sections, so you got to make sure it'll be a little harder to line up. When it was one piece, it was easier to make sure that it was lined up perfectly. You see the bottoms, a beautiful bottom. And you've got the side of B and C decks below the bridge. She's a beauty. And again, I want to recreate the photo after my model is done to put it on the backdrop and see how it compares with the actual filming model. If I ever won Powerball, if I ever won $1 billion, my wife would probably kill me because I would put it all. Where's the money? Well, I bought the model from the Smithsonian of the Enterprise. If they'd ever consider selling it, which I doubt. But this is the second pilot version. I like the black strips. I like the markings. And this is what she looked like in Mirror Mirror as well. The ISS Enterprise had that. Again, she's got different markings on the front of B and C decks. It almost looks like it's lit up because it's bright and it's white. You can see this is the starboard side. Looking at the port side and beneath the ship. And this shows us the landing gear. Is that in the yep, that was in the first version as well, the pilot. So she's starting to come together. And of course, you go on to this after you work with the lighting kit instructions and the production version, decal placement. So the registry markings are pretty much the same on all 3 versions. And there are a lot of similarities, like the spine that goes, the stripes that go down her spine. You can see that this one too has the lights that go on. Well, they all have that actually, that light up. That'll be lit with the rest of the areas. You can see it's got the addition of the 2, I'm not sure what those are, by the impulse engine markings. And the dome is green. Again, this is the starboard side. Moving over to the port side, for detailed information about paint colors, visit culttv.main.com/main/modelers/guide/2/painting/the/starship. Well, you can just look at it. And let's see, is that it? That's it. And then we go to the back page. The production version had a faint arc of brownish paint nicknamed the rust ring on the top of the saucer. This template can be used to assist in recreating the rust ring. It can also help locate the main registry decals. So you can see it's a perfect layout of the way she looked on the filming model. The rust ring. And that is a look at the instructions. So that's amazing. They're totally different than the other ones. Okay, guys, let's get right to it. We're going to have some fun. Let's get right in. So we got the clear. We got the Bussard collectors. And we have the, it looks like the B and C decks. So look at that. Beautiful. And possibly the saucer pylon. I just love the Enterprise. You guys tell I'm obsessed with her. I mean, the Enterprise is my favorite Star Trek. I count her as my character too. She's my favorite Star Trek character, is the NCC-1701. And I count the refit as well, because she is the same ship. And I think the refit is absolutely gorgeous as well. We're looking at the Bussard collectors, all that fresh, beautiful, clear plastic. And you can see the beacon lights. And where are the, I wonder if there's another clear section for the areas on top of the saucer section. So that is the first tree that we see, and it's clear. All right, what's next? Oh, there is another clear package. So let's check this out. All right, so you can see the curve. So this is for the secondary hull. Beautiful. See, this is all one piece. I think these were all separate pieces for the other 1350. You can see the lights, the beacon lights that are going to go on the bottom. You can see you see that's probably B deck or C deck. And you can see this is for the nacelles, the windows and the nacelle pylons, and you just run a light strip behind it. It doesn't even have to be in front, because the way it is, it'll light up because of the plastic. That'll have the light travel. Beautiful. All right, so looking at the parts tree for that, looks like all of the clear. So the next section we have looks like it's going to be for the nacelle pylons, and I think this is the only tree of nacelle pylon parts for all three versions. You can see, absolutely gorgeous. Now, I don't know if you guys know it or not, but AMT's model, the first model that they had made back in '63, I believe, when you had the nacelles, to make sure that it stayed secure, the nacelles actually had a hole in the tab that went into the secondary hull, and there was a piece that goes up inside to lock it into place. So if you're looking at a model kit, let's say it's on eBay, and someone says that it's an original Enterprise model kit, one way to tell is to look at the nacelle pylons and see if there's a rectangle hole in the bottom of it. That'll tell you it's original. You can see where the panels are going to go. And these are nice and secure, because there's not a lot of room in here to run lights. So you probably won't be able to put a bulb maybe one of those tiny LEDs, but it's a lot better to just run a light strip. You can bring the wires in, hook up the light strip, and then run them out. That's why it's so easy. And the effect is just wonderful. I love the nacelle pylons being lit. So that's beautiful. Okay, now we got her lovely neck. We've got the saucer pylon. Now there were two different versions. I don't think the sizes are different. I think what is different are the windows and the window placements. So let's see if there's much of a difference. Yeah, they're the same. They look like they're the same size, but the window placement is different. So let's try to get them where you can see both. See the one on the right, it's got 2 windows in the front, and the one in the back has 4. Talk about an attention to detail. They did so much work on this model, the 1350 Enterprise, and I've actually done a history on the model itself, from the planning and everything. That was for the NCC-1701 club, and they really hats off to Polar Lights. They were amazing. I absolutely love this. Is like the Super Bowl of Enterprise models. And you can see, I think that's where the shuttle bay is going to go for the one of the production, not the production, but the pilots. So that's a look at the saucer pylons. And you get the option, because there's 2 different ones. All right, now one of the highlights of the ship. Look at this, guys. It's like a nice big pizza. Hey, you ordered the Enterprise a pizza. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. It's interestingly, there's no plastic protecting these. But look at the plastic, nice and smooth. Oh, she's just gorgeous. And again, I want to figure out how we can do the mixing on the paint. If anybody's watching and they've done that, where they've mixed the blue into the gray, they've gotten the Enterprise model color, can you put it in the comments? It will really help out a lot. So it's going to take a while to get that color. And then every time we use the color, we're going to have to remix it. But anyway, you can see where the beacons are going to go. And the bridge, B and C decks, which is absolutely spectacular. The rust ring, I'm going to go around there. All right, let's put this aside. And we can see the bottom. Beautiful. Now, what I was telling you guys about the bottom of the ship, these in the production version are in the center, whereas in the pilot they're actually moved back. As the ship goes by, you can see that they're actually in the back, and the pilot version I don't think has these 3. Anyway, I want to do some research, and I want to make this model totally accurate, so we'll end up closing and moving the beacon lights. You can see those beautiful rings around the sensor dome on the bottom. Got some more windows, and you can see where the I call it the landing gear. If I'm wrong, let me know, guys, because wasn't this made, it was designed as the saucer section could actually detach and land, you know, kind of like the Voyager does. You can see the sides have the windows as well, and those iconic 3 windows that are in the front of the ship. And looking at the inside, you got the wonderful places to put the lighting kit strips on. And the lighting kit circuit board goes up here. That's what this is for. It actually screws into that area. So this is beautiful. And let's see, RD0246. And it says 01 on the other side. So that's a look at the primary hull. Let's see what's next. We actually have more clear. So that's pretty cool. I didn't think we'd have more clear sections, but we do. So let's take a gander at that. Beautiful. All right, the first one, you can see the sensor dome and the bridge. And you got those three iconic lights, the front of the primary hull. That would be those. And then you have those three that are underneath. Beautiful. And let's see, what's this one? You got the squares that are going to go on the top of the primary hull, and it looks like the observation deck that's going to go above the shuttle bay. Just absolutely gorgeous. The amount of detail is just amazing. Like I said, this is the Super Bowl model of the Enterprise. Okay, so what do we have next? Let's look at the base. We've got the usual. As usual, it's the bubble, and it's got the metal rod, the support rod, and this one is clear. Excuse, it's not clear. It's hollow, so you could run the wires through it. Yeah, I got some different ideas of how to paint the base, but that's just a typical Polar Lights base. Okay, what do we got now? Ooh, we got the deflector dish. All right, so, try to get that to stay still. All right, let's see what this is. So we've got the beautiful deflector dish. And again, which one you like better, guys? You like the larger one or the smaller one? You got the back of the deflector dish, and we got the impulse engines. It shows you the scale of the model. Look at the size of the impulse engines as opposed to my finger. Of course, if it was up to me, they'd sell a model the same size as the one in the Smithsonian. I would love that. Right in the living room. And you've got the one that we're going to use for the ends of the nacelles. It's got that rectangle kind of shape. Beautiful in the detail. We've got the ridges. In that video that I've done in the history of planning out this model, I actually show you the molds, and the process of molding this is just amazing. Again, the amount of work they went into this model, it's just spectacular. Thank you Polar Lights. Absolutely love this kit. And look at, this is the one that we're going to be using because it's a little higher up, B and C decks. And this looks like it would go on the inside of the nacelles. You can see the inside, the B and C decks. So I think there's got to be two of those because the production version is not as high. I'm talking about B and C decks where the bridge area is. Okay, so what's next? We got the nacelle parts. Actually, I don't have to take these out to show you guys. You can see, actually, yeah, let me show you a better view. Just like that. Look at that. Again, look at the size of them. And look at the little shuttlecraft. The little Galileo. How cute that is, huh? 350 scale. And she can go into the back of the shuttle bay. And you've got the coolant, look like radiator coolers or coolant pipes. You got the the fins that go on the back. And look at how little the nacelles are for the shuttlecraft. It looks like that'll be requiring a little bit of trim with the flash off. But the modeling, the mold in this kit is great. I mean, every single piece has been nice, crisp, and clean. All right, so that is for the nacelles, and that is the tree that has the shuttlecraft Galileo on it. So, looking over at this one, this is the one that has the shuttle bay. And it's got the bridge. And that bridge, I mean, I'm a pretty lousy modeler. I'm still trying to get my skills. And some of the bridges that I've made are just horrific. I'm gonna go out of my way now to make sure that this bridge is nice and precise and looks like the Enterprise bridge. You can see the ceiling. Again, with the lighting kit, they may have a clear shuttle bay, and there's a piece of photo etch that goes in there for the grid lines, so you don't have to paint them. You get the walls of the shuttle bay. You get the back wall with the garage door where the shuttlecraft come out. And of course you get the back of the ship, the lovely fantail with those iconic green, yellow, and red lights. And this is what goes on top of the shuttle bay doors with the light. And these are detailed. Beautiful. And that's what's on that tree. Okay, so now we look at the rings that go around the Bussard collectors. And I love that they do them as separate rings instead of one piece, or have it molded into the Bussard collector or nacelle like they've done in the models over the years. And we have a different backing for the impulse engines. It looks like these are a little bit smaller. And it looks like these are what's going to go onto the nacelle pylons. And again, this is going to go for the nacelle with the clear part going in, where I like to light them. And we got the rings that just go around the back where the Bussard collectors are. Beautiful. And for the production version, we have the Bussard collectors where you're going to put the clear parts. And the lighting kit has blue, green, yellow, and red. And it's just spectacular how they do that effect. You got more of the rings, because I think there's 3 on each side behind the Bussard collectors. And we have the strip that goes behind the island on top of the primary hull. And this is the production version, ends of the nacelles, where that bubble comes out. Beautiful. Again, the plastic is nice and crisp and clean, no flash. All right, what's next? Oh, like I was telling you, there'd have to be another island for the production version of the ship, and there is. So let's take a look at that. I call it the island because on an aircraft carrier, the raised area is called the island. So that's what I've been calling B and C decks, where the bridge is. And this one is actually lower, so we won't be using this one. And this part actually goes in the bottom of the secondary hull to strengthen it and support it, and that's where the rod goes for the base. And these are the fins that go underneath the Bussard collectors. And it looks like these could be the impulse engine grills. And we've got that beautiful ring that's going to house the deflector dish. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. Okay, and this one I was telling you guys about the option of having the shuttle bay doors closed and open so you can see inside and see the shuttle bay. And these look like the backs that go on the back caps for the nacelles for the production version. And we got the floor. Actually, that's the way it would go, the shuttle bay. And these are the support pieces that go in a secondary hull to support the nacelles that go in and lock into place. And we got the back where the Bussard collectors are going to go. Now these lock into place, and when I had to do the custom one for Joe's, I had to get my own motors, and I had to actually drill or use the Dremel to take these out, put the motors in, and I hot glued them into place. And this looks like the bottom where the light is going to go in for the sensor dome, in the bottom of the primary hull. So that's this section. Of course, there were two versions of the bridge area. I just want to keep everything in the bag to keep it protected. All right, what's next? We got more clear parts, and these are the nacelles. Now, I had shown the last clear parts we had looked at had nacelle domes. And we got more of those. Because you've got the outside part that goes over and attaches to the nacelle, and then you've got the part inside that actually has the ribs, and these are the parts that spin. The motor, the shaft goes right into that, and it goes in, and these spin around, whereas the outer part is stationary. And in the lighting kit, it had a photo etch set where pieces of photo etch went on to form the ribs. So that's nice. And we got the lights. Look like it go on top, or the beacons that go on top of the nacelles. All right, so, we got the deflector dish, and this is exactly the same as it was in the other 1350 kits, whether it was the 50th anniversary or the 1701. But the difference is we've got this deflector dish is in color. The one that I showed you, the first one, the oversized one, would have to be painted. You can see the different antennas that are going to come out of the deflector dish. But all of the backings are the same that hold it in the back, and the deflector housing is the same for all three versions. And this one is molded in color. I mean, I still ended up painting them. The testers, the copper, is perfect for this piece. And what I like to do is I did not only the deflector dish and the housing, but I like to put the copper ring around on a secondary hull. I think that looked really nice. And underneath, the rings around the sensor dome, I had done that in copper. That looks pretty nice. Okay, let's take a look at the nacelles now. Ooh, beautiful, beautiful nacelles. Oh, these are actually on trees. Wow. All right, so we'll look at this. Looks like the interior. And of course, I love the size of this ship. Look at my arm, and look at the size of the nacelles. Absolutely gorgeous. You can see where we're going to put the grills on. And what I like about this model is look at the thickness. I mean, this has got to be a good 1/8 of an inch thick. It's really well made. And you know, I'm not knocking the refit or the A and 150/350 scale, but it's nowhere near as rugged as this one is. That the plastic is just so rugged. And this model, I'm not suggesting you do it, but you could probably drop it on the floor, or if it would accidentally fall over, it wouldn't break. That's how rugged this model is. Incidentally, this is the same molding that they use for the master replicas, the U.S.S. Enterprise. And I'll tell you what, I would love to get my hands on a master replica where they have all the signatures on the plaque. Before I die, I want to be able to get one of those and show it to you. Unless someone wants to donate one to me. But anyway, looking at the outside part of the nacelle. So let's see. This could possibly be starboard side or port side. Probably the port side. You can see where the fins are going to go underneath where the Bussard collector is. And when you look inside, you can see the parts that will slot into place, and the nacelle pylon is going to slot right in, and it's really rugged. It's really rugged, and with the super glue or whatever glue you're going to use, it's really going to stay and use the test of time and be rugged and durable. And this looks like it will be, let's see, the starboard side nacelle. You see where the fins are going to go. Now, I was thinking of just leaving it the way it is and not painting it, kind of like the master replica is. But the simple fact that the deflector dish isn't painted, plus I really want to do the blue, the gray blue paint. I'm just dying to do that. That's going to be so much fun. And that is a look at the nacelles. Absolutely spectacular. So you got to keep everything in the bag to keep it protected. No, you don't want it to get scratched up for no reason. All right, we've got the secondary hull. Let's get this open. And there's only one version of the secondary hull for all three versions. And this tree is really heavy. It's nice and big. And like I said, it's got to be a good 1/8 of an inch, if not a little thicker. So this looks like this is the starboard side of the secondary hull. You can see the little grill is going to go there, and the decal and the lights. This is going to be amazing to light. Interesting, the larger window. You can see where the is that the sensor lights in the back that are going to go. And taking a look at the port side. Again, looking at my arm, you can see that it's a really good size, 1/350 scale. This is going to be, I think, 32 inches in length. Beautiful. Looking on the inside, you can see where that piece I was showing you, that's going to go in to anchor the secondary hull, and you'll be able to pass the wires through right there. And we're going to put the lighting strip, the tape, because that does a fantastic job in lighting these areas. So this is the inside where I was telling you about, where the little anchor parts are going to go, and you're going to glue those into place, and then the nacelle pylons are going to be glued and anchored into that. And it's going to make it really rugged. And you see where the shuttle bay is going to go, shuttle bay doors, and the observation deck. The inside of the starboard side, the same thing. Now it's got the little raised squares in here, and that is where the lights, they're going to have you put the lights, the pieces of the LED tape. I'll show you the outsides again. The starboard side and port side. Absolutely spectacular model. Okay, and that's the secondary hull. So let's put that back in the bag for now. And don't look now, guys, but I mean, this is like one of those things I just don't want it to end. But there's one piece left. One part to show you. Parts tray. And this is what I was talking about that's going to go into the Bussard collector. Now, the lighting kit has the red, yellow, green, and blue versions. But this one has clear, and what you have to do is you have to paint them yourself if you want it to be colorful for the Bussard collectors. You can see the little lights that are going to go in. Absolutely beautiful, and you got the beacon lights. Of course, red for port and green for starboard. And I think these would go on top of the Bussard collectors, or back of the Bussard collectors on the top of the nacelles. And inside the Bussard collectors are kind of remind me of Christmas lights. So that's the clear part. So there were a lot more clear parts than I realized. And that, my friends, unfortunately, it's done. That's everything in this wonderful kit. So, let me see if you guys can get a good shot of the box. I hope you guys enjoyed this preview or this review. Actually, let's take a look at the box itself, because a lot of the times they have like the painting guides. Now, in the other Enterprise kits, when you opened up the box, they had a nice huge cardboard piece that had the painting guide on and decal placement. And this one looks like it just has the space. Yep. And then you've got the wonderful pictures on the back. Absolutely beautiful. So, my friends, if you were wondering what was included in this kit and the differences between this one and the other 1/350 scale, I'm actually going to do at some point, I'm going to do a comparison between this kit, the previous 1/350 scale model kits, the original 1701 Premier edition of the kit, and the pre-built 1/350 scale pre-painted models as well. I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of those videos for you guys to show you the differences. But my friends, this was for the brand new model that just came out. I got it, last night, late last night. The UPS guy, I was putting out the trash actually, and the truck had stopped, and I had gotten it, and I was all excited because I saw it and I knew what it was, and I'm such in a hurry to make this kit. My friends, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and like I said, I can't wait to build it. So until the next video, my friends, be safe, and thank you for watching. Thank you so much, and have a great day.